Alright everyone, so Boruto chapter 81 or Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 1 has officially been released and I'm here to give you guys my thoughts. But before we do guys, as always, I do have to ask you that if you want to show your support for the channel, please consider leaving a like, sharing this video out there, hit the subscribe button if you're new, ring the bell for notifications, and consider becoming a channel member to take the extra step in helping support the channel. And please guys, comment down below with what your thoughts are on this chapter. Now the chapter starts off with Sarada in the Hokage office having a conversation with Shikamaru, and she's trying to get him to rescind the kill order that she's put out on Boruto and Sasuke, and Shikamaru reminds her that he can't do that because Boruto crossed a line that he cannot come back from. And essentially, he brought this on himself. And Sarada is trying to convince him that what he's remembering is wrong and that something happened, but nobody is listening to her. And Shikamaru tells her that this is the last time we're going to have this conversation, essentially telling us that this isn't the first time that Sarada has tried to convince Shikamaru that something went wrong. And Shikamaru tells her as she's leaving that if she keeps this up, she's going to affect her chances of becoming the Hokage. And she reminds him that years ago when her dad left the village, Naruto did everything he could to try and bring him back. And essentially, Naruto is her role model for becoming Hokage, not Shikamaru, which is kind of a cold blow to Shikamaru, I'm not gonna lie. And after this, we see Naruto and Hinata in the Daikokusen dimension, and we see that Kawaki has now developed his abilities to the point where he himself can now enter the Daikokusen dimension, and we get to see his new design in the time skip, and it's essentially just him older and with a new set of clothes, like with a lot of the new characters in this time skip. And after that, we see a conversation between Sarada and Sumire, and they basically confirm to us what we knew was going to happen based on Sasuke's statements in Boruto chapter 80, where he confirmed that despite the fact that there are a lot of things that contradict his own memories, there's a power inside of him that is telling him to ignore all of these things and to just accept this new reality as a fact, as if that's always been the reality. And he has to actively work to keep that power at bay. And she basically told him how a lot of people at the beginning were calling out these things that don't really make a lot of sense, but then slowly over time they just started to accept it. And now it seems like no matter what Sarada and Sumire say, there's nothing they can do to get people to realize what's actually happening. And then later we see them talking to Eida, and Eida once again is basically telling them that there's nothing that can be done, and that this ability, even though she knows what it is, there's nothing she can do about it because she has no control over it. And they might have a better chance of trying to rewrite new memories, but if they try to do that, then there's a risk. And I'm guessing what the risk is, if they try to rewrite new memories, because they don't know a lot about this ability and how specifically it works, they could end up doing something even worse than what Kawaki already did all those years ago. And then Eida wonders, why is it that Sarada and Sumire still have their memories and they weren't affected by it like everyone else? And she also asks whether or not they really are captives of her charm ability. And then Sarada and Sumire start to sweat a little bit because they remember what Shikamaru told them, that if Damon finds out that you two are not affected by Eida's ability, then he's going to kill you because you present a threat to Eida. And then Sumire tries to brush it off by saying they're just showing off. Of course they're affected by her ability. And Eida seems like she buys their excuse, but Damon looks like he's still 100% suspicious and he's not buying it. And then later we see Kawaki with Mitsuki, and Kawaki is telling Mitsuki to keep his bloodthirst in check. And Mitsuki says he can't because Boruto's still out there and he still wants to kill Kawaki. And because Boruto is Otsutsuki, there's a chance he learned how to mask his chakra signature like Kawaki learned how to do that. And Kawaki assures him by saying that even if he did learn to do that, it doesn't matter because he won't be able to trick him. And then Kawaki tells him, okay, you can do what you want, but just stop following me around because it's getting to be a little bit annoying. And then before Mitsuki says what he wants to say, Kawaki gets a message from the claw mark search squad as we come to know them, saying that they found more claw marks outside the village, and Code heads over there by flying, which we knew he was going to be able to learn because Amato said that now that Boruto and Kawaki are Otsutsuki, eventually they'll learn Otsutsuki abilities like masking their chakra signature and being able to fly. And when Kawaki leaves, Mitsuki is asking whether or not Kawaki really is who I think he is, slowly starting to doubt his own mind like everyone else. So it is possible that we're starting to see the Shinjutsu be affected, but maybe that's just me looking too deeply into it. And then we see Himawari, and she's training with Team 10, and she is basically asked by them, hey, why do you want to become strong? And she says, it's not because I want to become strong, it's more so because I want to help Boruto, because she doesn't believe what people are saying about him. Because a long time ago, he risked his life to save her and her dad, and that someone like that wouldn't just kill Naruto. And she also says that she has a feeling that her dad is still alive and that he's not dead. And then after that, we see Kawaki using his dojutsu, which seems to have fully matured. It's the same as the one that Ishiki had when he made his first appearance. And as he's getting rid of the claw marks, he notices that one of the shinobi with him has a claw mark on his neck, and then he gets rid of it. And then he goes on to tell Shikamaru there's a chance that every member of that squad had a claw mark put on their neck without them knowing about it. And he says to round up all of them because he wants to get rid of them quickly before Code can use it, just like how he used the one on Shikamaru to invade the village. But before they could, one of the claw grimes that Code created comes out of the claw mark that was placed on one of the shinobi's necks right in the middle of the village, and they just start attacking everyone in sight. We know that there are other claw grimes all over the village, and Code attacks one of them, tells the civilians to follow the shinobi's orders, and then in another part of the village, we see Sarada knock down one of these claw grimes, and we see another claw grime come out of that one, and then another one comes out, and then as Sarada is facing these claw grimes down, Code pops up out of one of them, and we see that Code has a scar over his left eye. That means at some point during the time skip, either Boruto or Sasuke gave Code that scar over his left eye. And Sarada asks why Code is here in the village, and he says that I'm looking for Boruto, and she says to him that Boruto isn't here, he left 3 years ago, confirming that it has been 3 years between Boruto Part 1 and Boruto Part 2, and he says, no, I'm gonna make him come to me by attacking the village and attacking the people that used to be his friends. But before he could attack Sarada, that's when Boruto shows up, and Kawaki immediately notices that Boruto is here in the village. And then the last thing we see in this chapter is Boruto staring down Code, and it seems like a fight is just about to break out between them, and that's where the chapter ends. Now, overall, I think this was an okay chapter. I think it did a good job of catching us up with a lot of the main characters and where they are now and where the world is now. That the world has pretty much accepted that this is the new reality, at least in their minds, and that nothing weird happened, nothing wrong happened. And immediately the story gets going because instead of just making us wait a couple of chapters before the village gets attacked by Code, it just happens immediately, and we're right here in the middle. And I think this was definitely a smart decision by Kishimoto, because I think a lot of people would not have liked if it took a while before we finally got the story going. Now, we don't really know what happened with Sasuke because he doesn't make an appearance here in this chapter. He's not with Code, or excuse me, he's not with Boruto, but I'm assuming we're probably going to see him in the next chapter, or we'll probably be told where he is from Boruto, because I'm gonna guess that Sarada is probably going to ask Boruto where her father is, and we're probably going to get an answer then. Now, a lot of people have theorized that maybe Sasuke died, that he was killed off during those 3 years. Personally, I don't think that's the case. I don't think Kishimoto would actually kill him off screen. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, with all that said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, share this video out there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, ring the bell for notifications, and please comment down below with your thoughts. And again, consider becoming a channel member to take the extra step in helping support the channel, and you will get some perks that other people will not have access to. Now, with all that said and out of the way, guys, I hope you will join me for my review of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 2. Bye for now.